Is it always at the end?
It's always in the corner.
Top or bottom?
Yeah, because they can flip these things to fit them on a page.
Okay.
But in the corner is the tie-up. Once you find the tie-up, if you go horizontally from it, either this way or this way, that's your threading. That's how we set the loom up.
Okay.
Okay? And when we read down, or occasionally in the book up, from the tie-up, this is telling you where to put your feet to weave your fabric. That's the treadling instructions. Now, we've got this thing over here that looks like a crossword puzzle. This is called a drawdown. It's a cartoon of your fabric. Okay? This is what your fabric's going to look like. If, and they never tell you this, it's a black warp and a white weft. I've got it in here several times. Now, let's take a look.
In some of the books I've noticed, they seem to have photos.
Mm-hmm.
It's a photo instead of the drawdown?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. If this is your warp yarn, black warp yarn, if we lift that harness, weave a white yarn, and drop that harness, you see black. Okay? Mm-hmm. So every warp thread that goes up in the air, we're going to color in as black. So if we look at this draft, the top row says we step on this treadle and lift harnesses 3 and 4. So harnesses 3 and 4 are black. Or green, as the case may be. So,
because when you lift them, you're lifting the warp threads, so it will be on top of the weft thread.
Exactly right.
So it will show.
Right. So that first shot is going to make something that looks like that. Okay, so now on the other treadle, on the other harnesses, if this doesn't come up, if this is on harness 1, for example, the white yarn will weave on top of it, and where it's a 1, it's white. So every time, what you need to do is to take a look and see what's lifting and color them in. What can I do for you?
I have a quick question, I hope, and that is for the
So that's what these drafts are all about. It's telling you where there are warp threads and where there are weft threads, and if they're different colors, we'll see a pattern. Or you can't. It's not always a visual pattern, but it is a pattern. Now, what I'd like you to do is to take a look at this one, and the first shot that you're going to weave, you're going to step on what treadle? Your first shot.
The second in.
Okay. And 1 and 4 are going to go up. Mm-hmm. So what are we going to do with 1s and 4s over here?
We're going to color those in.
Color in 1s and 4s. Yep. I'm going to show you later today an app that'll do this on your iPad.
Is the drawdown just to give people an idea of what it looks like?
You're sitting in the waiting room at the dentist. You got a piece of graph paper and a pencil. You can
Design your own patterns.
Design your own patterns, as well as take a look and go, oh, that's ugly. I'm not going to bother weaving that on the loom. Or another one, go, oh, that might be cool, and give that a try. But this is how people, before computers, this is how people plan fabrics.
Is it Fiberworks? Is that what you're going to show us? Or is it
no,
another?
I'm going to show you I Weave It.
I Weave.
Weave It, I love it.
It's, I think, $25. For weaving software, it's really cheap.
How often would you make your own pattern? Your own weaving designs, I guess. Patterns. Because these dictionaries I see you've got have hundreds of them, it looks like.
Yeah, but it's a little like cooking. It's a lot more fun when it's your recipe.
Right.
Yeah. Some folks don't spend a whole lot of time doing design work. They're going to follow the recipe in the cookbook. And that's just sort of not me.
So you pretty much only do your own pattern as well.
Yeah. Is it making sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, next page is the opposite. Here's the test. Tie up, threading, fabric, how do you treadle it? No puzzle there for you. We're just looking for the block squares and finding how it's tied up and marking it down. Yep. These things aren't as scary as they initially look.
So some patterns, it looks like the footwork, the treadle instructions, are brief, only sets of 4. But are others, it's really extensive, like it's a 20-step pattern?
Yeah. And I used to have one of those in this on this second work, and it really revolted.
Like that overshot one, because the pattern repeat was about 6 inches long,
Yeah.
and yet the thread was so fine, I would assume that that would mean the treadling instructions would be the length of each pattern repeat, right?
Yeah. Yeah. This is an old book.
This is cool. I love these.
Which one is that?
This is Marguerite Davidson, Hand Weaver's Pattern Book. This has gone through a million printings.
I love it. It looks like music.
So what happens when you take a look? So you open up the book and you go, okay, I would really like to weave that. The first thing that you do is, looks like gibberish over here. The first thing you do is, where's the tie-up?
No. Here.
Yeah. She's got two different sets of them. But yeah, here's your tie-up.
It's the
So-
6 treadle. Looks like.
Yep. Yes, same thing we've got now, except in different locations. Different authors
Okay.
put the tabby shots in different places.
And here's the threading.
Yep, that's how you set the loom up. So
So we
everything.
repeat this 8 times, this one 18 times, and this one 8 times.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
And here's where you put your feet.
And these are telling you where to put your feet to weave these different fabrics.
Oh, so all of these can be done with the same setup.
Yes.
So you can experiment, or you could thread your loom with like 20 yards of fabric and whip
And
out
use
10 of
different
these
stuff.
shawls. And,
Yes.
well, that's well
So
put
when
together.
it says 1, 1, 1, 1, I get that. 2, we would go back and forth
Yeah,
once.
we'll do it twice. Remember basket weave? We did 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4.
Yeah.
They were double, and they would all be 2s in instructions for.
So I would go
Basket.
right and left would be a 2.
That would be a 2.
All right. And that's why we had to tie up the cone.
Yeah. Now this book.
I got that on Amazon.
This
just-
starts out.
Everyone has one of these. I gotta get a copy of
This starts out doing exactly the kind of stuff we did at the very, very beginning.
Yeah.
Okay. Now there's one thing about her, the way she draws it up, that is really puzzling at first. Here is your threading. It's the same threading we did on the first warp and half of the second warp. 4, 3, 2, 1, repeated.
So it's ignoring the outer 2 treadles.
No, this is threading.
Oh, right. I'm sorry. Okay,
Yep.
right. Because this would be the tie
Tie
up
up.
because it's in the
But
corner.
obviously we've got too many. We don't have that many treadles. So for example, if you wanted to weave this fabric, here's your tie up. It's just the ones above. See, we're not using any of these other
And why
ones.
does she have 1 written? What are the numbers?
She's going to do it once. A moment ago we talked about basket weave. We did this twice.
Okay.
This is saying 1 shot of light green or beige.
Instead
whatever
of
it is.
just having
So
no
this would
number,
be-
it's 1.
2 and 4, 1 and 3.
Yeah, except this is 1 and 3. One's that way.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, so 1, 3, 2,
2,
4.
4.
Okay.
And so you weave that, and you get plain weave. Just this is showing a picture of the other side of the fabric, but very, very basic. So this book starts off where you were last weekend. You're beyond this by now. Now let's look at the next one. Here she's got a twill. You can see the diagonal lines telling you it's a twill. And what we're going to do is a tie-up of another ruler or something. Here's what you're weaving. Oh, let me stick it on this side.
Right.
And you
So
can
it's
see.
there's only
4.
So that is just done as a
4.
space saver.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so you can put it all on one page.
just to confuse us.
Hmm?
Just to confuse us.
I
Well,
would think it'd be more confusing for the author, making sure everything lines up properly and stuff.
weaving books have been known to have an occasional error.
Yeah, it's hard. Making reference books is brutal.
Yeah.
It's really. I don't envy the encyclopedia compilers of the world.
Okay, let's take a look. I want to find some places that's not ones. This is very much the level we're at right this minute.
Right.
And pretty soon we'll find something.
That's beyond us.
No, it's not beyond you. The big thing is to realize that you can read these silly things. Come on, I want multiples.
Pretty enough.
Here we go. This is an entirely different kind of structure, but
So that's the non-quill, right? We
this
did
is
that.
this is totally
Like
this
ribbon?
is well, it's actually something different, but
Oh,
here's your tie-up.
right,
Here's your threading.
right.
Now, this is going to tell you how to do your treadling. And it says we're going to do this 6 times. So you can see how there's 6 bright blues there.
So this has a self-edge.
Yeah, yeah.
And then
But-
what's the little red? Just
Repeat.
repeat it over and over
Just
again.
repeat.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is,
Well, that's pretty.
it's a nice little book.
And this is the 3 and the 9, which gives you the uneven
Exactly.
sizing.
Sort of like what we did with opposites. And you can make different patterns with the same tie-up.
Is this technically a twill?
No,
No.
it's a variation on plain
Even though
red.
it has a self-edge, because it's like a basket weave
Because-
variation.
Yeah. And then in the next section, I did a basket weave, and the basket weave would be. Let's see. This is another one, so I want this. I haven't done this off the top of my head in a while. There's nothing there.